Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be CC Cycle 2 and Week 23 Memory Work Ideas, At Home Ideas, and a Review Game Idea. Starting out with math, this week we are learning the Distributive Law, and it states that A opening parenthesis B plus C close parenthesis equals AB plus AC. And that is a mouthful. So we learn this to a cadence call, and we just do a sound off, and it goes like this. I don't know, but I've been told.
I don't know what I've been told.
The distributive law is good to know.
The distributive law is good to know.
A opening parenthesis.
A opening parenthesis.
B plus C close parenthesis.
B plus C close parenthesis.
Equals AB plus AC.
Equals AB plus AC.
CC Math Week 23.
CC Math Week 23.
Sound off.
Sound off.
1, 2.
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
3, 4.
All right, so that is our cadence call with the help of my little minis. And basically you just lead it and your group can sound off back to you. Another way that you could do that if you don't want to do a cadence call is to sing it to the tune of Be Careful Little Eyes What You See. And that tune came from Funny Cheryl, and it sounds like this. The distributive law states A opening parenthesis B plus C close parenthesis equals AB plus AC. Okay, that is math. For English this week, we are learning an adjective, and this statement was a little difficult to put to a perfect tune. And after all my thinking, I just ended up realizing that the easiest tune we could sing it to is ABCs. And so we are singing this to the tune of ABC, of the ABCs, and it sounds like this. An adjective modifies a noun or pronoun by describing, qualifying, or limiting, and answers the questions what, kind, how many, which, whose. So one more time. An adjective modifies a noun or pronoun by describing, qualifying, or limiting, and answers the questions what, kind, how many, which, and whose. And that is our English for this week. For history, we are learning about the Gulf War, and we are going to sing this to the tune that CC provides with motions. You could also show pictures as a visual aid if that helps. And the motions that go with this song, we will do 19 and then 90. So 1990. Then when we say president, we're going to do the sign for president, and it says George H.W. We're going to, as it sings that part, we'll still be holding president. But then when it says Bush, we will put up a B for Bush. Sent troops to the Persian Gulf. We're going to move our hands like this to represent Gulf. So this is a P and the Gulf. Then when we talk about, expel, we're going to go like this and throw it out, expel. And then we have Iraqi leader, Saddam, S for Saddam, and then H for Hussein. From Kuwait, we'll make a K. And then the Gulf War, you can do a G for Gulf, and then the sign for war. And that's the hand motions that we will use for history this week. For Latin, we are learning about the first conjugation endings future perfect tense. And so for this, we take out our crown to remind us that it is the happy birthday tune. So we wear a happy birthday crown like this, and we will put that on and take turns singing the happy birthday tune with the crown. So we have arrows on our crown to represent that the first sound is arrow. So arrow, then we sing the tune with that to happy birthday. We always end it with the title, which is first conjugation. And then after we end it, we will blow out an imaginary candle. Just like that. And the kids have fun going through those motions. This all reminds us of our tune, that it starts with arrow and it's in the tune of happy birthday. And that's how we cover our Latin for week 23. Okay, for timeline, we are learning about the age of information and globalization. So when we do that, we are going to take our hands out and type like we're typing on a computer for the age of information and globalization. We will do our hands like a globe. Then we have Watergate and President Nixon resigns. When we do that, we are going to put our hand up like a wall and peek around our hand like we are looking on the other side of a wall like a spy. So that's for Watergate. President Nixon resigns. When we say that, we're going to do the motion for quitting, which is to take your hand like this and pull 2 fingers out. That's what the sign is for resigning. So Watergate and President Nixon resigns. Then we have the fall of communism. We're going to do the same sign for communism, just to hold up our hand like this. In Eastern Europe, we're going to make an E with our hand, and to say Europe, we circle that E around our ear. And we're going to keep that same motion for our next thing. So Eastern Europe, the next one is European Union form. So we're going to do European Union form, same sign that we've been doing for union in the past. And then we have apartheid abolished in South Africa. Apartheid is meaning coming apart. So we're going to do the sign for apart, and then abolished. We take our hands like this and get rid of it. So apartheid abolished in South Africa. For South Africa, you can do an S and move it down for South Africa. This is the way that we say Africa. But for the motion, you can just do apartheid abolished in South Africa. Then we have September 11th. This is representing the Twin Towers. So September 11th, 2001. And that's just representing how they came down. And the last one is rising tide of freedom. So we're going to do the sign for freedom by holding our hands like this and then opening them. That is the sign for freedom. And we're going to do that again with our hands lifted up. And that is how we will cover our timeline. For geography, we are learning about Central Asia. And so there are a lot of stands in this. And so we are going to do this to the tune of Sing, Sing, Sing. It's kind of a swing tune. And it sounds like this. Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. These are the 5 stands. And that is how we're going to cover our geography. Of course, we will always introduce it first, showing all the places. Once everybody is familiar with where all the locations are, then we'll go back through and we'll sing it together with that tune. And last but not least, for memory work this week, we have science. And this week we are learning how does heat flow. And so heat flows in 3 different ways. We're going to focus on radiation, conduction, and convection. And for this, we're going to use some hand motion. So for radiation, we're going to move our fingers squiggly like this to show radiation. Conduction, we're going to rub our hands together, contact. And convection, we're going to move our hands in a circular motion like this. That represents the molecular motion that is involved in the act of convection heating. And so those are the motions that we're going to use for science. And you could put that to a tune, but then we'll have those hand motions to kind of demonstrate what's happening in each of those types of heat flowing. For review this week, we are going to play bingo. I've mentioned that in the past. Basically, we have bingo sheets. I will link it in the description box below if you'd like to do that. I love bingo for weeks 5 or 6 because it covers a lot of ground. So in one bingo sheet, you can cover almost all the previous 5 weeks. And so that's what we'll probably do this week, is play some CC bingo. And there are a couple of versions linked on CC Connected, and so I'll just make sure to attach those to the description of this video. And you can use fun things like candy or just little marker beads, little anything fun and tiny that you have. Stickers. You could use dry erase markers if you put your sheets into sheet protectors. So many fun ways to do bingo, but that is what we'll do for review this week. And then for some fun ideas at home this week, for our devotionals for Indescribable this week, we are on week 23. We're doing egg protectors and science. And so for our devotion, there is one on gravity and falling on page 100 in our Indescribable devotion by Louis Giglio. And that could be a fun one to do this week. Another fun one would be page 64, which has to do with sun power. That could also be another good one. Some ideas for eating this week, since we are studying Central Asia. You can think about types of food that are eaten in Central Asia. And really, it's a combination of a lot of things because they're kind of right there in between so many different areas. So they take hints from Middle Eastern food, from Asian food, and Russia. And so, some popular things, though, that you do find common between a lot of those different countries is dumplings, where they will take some kind of wrapping and make a dumpling with meat and vegetables inside. That is common in most of those areas. Rice and millet, that's another common thing. Flatbreads and things like that. Interestingly enough, a popular meat dish there is mutton, which I just learned today is versus lamb, where you're having a baby lamb or a baby sheep, which is a lamb. Mutton is the older sheep and the meat from an older sheep. So that is common there, as well as horse meat, I read today. So just some interesting, fun things. You would eat that? All right, my husband would eat that. So, some fun ideas. I will post a link to a site that I found that had so many interesting dishes from this area. So many things that I have never personally tried that sound really, really interesting and unique and different. And so, could be some exciting new things to try this week. All right. In terms of things that we could watch or do at home this week on the video, Magic School Buses we always look into. And so for week 23, Magic School Bus has one called In the Arctic, and it's about heat. So that's season 3, episode 2, and it's about heat called In the Arctic. There is another one about hands-on science, and it's season 4, episode 2. It's all about how God created new life and how some animals lay eggs. And since we're doing science on the egg protectors, that could be another fitting one too. So that is some fun ideas to do this week at home. I will post in the description some fun books that might be fun to check out for this week, and also be sure to check out the movie list if there are any new ones, and if you're interested, your family is interested in checking out a movie this week, that could be a fun thing to check out. Other than that, I think that's everything. We are almost to our final week for the year. Pretty incredible to think about that. One more week, and we're finishing strong. So exciting to be there. But I look forward to seeing you guys for our last week 24 for Cycle 2 next week. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye. I don't know, but I've been told
I don't know what I've been
the
told.
distributive law is good to know.
The distributive law is good to know.
A opening parenthesis
A opening parenthesis
equals AB. I totally messed that up. Okay, hold on. We got to redo that. Okay. And it sounds like this. An adjective modifies a noun or pronoun by describing, qualifying, or limiting. That's not the tune. Hold on a second. Gotta think through this.
That's Twinkle Twinkle. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.